your name? Nice to meet you, Ryan. So, I'm like an office guy. I work in a cubicle. I like pay my taxes. I have.
Closer to the mic, please.
Okay. I pay my taxes. I pay most of my bills on time. I own a stapler. I was a big nerd in high school. I had braces and birth control glasses. I lost my virginity at like 19. Also, I've broken a man's leg, dislocated his arm. I've outrun the cops on the south side of Chicago at 3 in the morning. I once kicked a guy's door in, choked him, held to the ground, and held a blade to his neck. Also, I was sort of molested when I was 5 or 6, but it's not a big deal. Also, I've dated 9 dancers, 4 dominatrices, 3 girls who have worked in porn, had 2 threesomes, and yes, honestly, they ruled. And a partridge in a pear tree. So, what else have you done? I guess the reason I'm telling you a lot of these things so that it'll seem like I'm less of a bastard when I start telling other people's secrets. See, I used to be active in the bondage and discipline sadomasochism scene in Philadelphia, dress up like a leather priest, and by day being like Mr. Nice Office Guy, having a fully tattooed back, tying people up and beating them. So it's sort of like, there's a lot of dichotomies. I threw a couple parties, and they were sort of themed around the 7 deadly sins, you know, gluttony, greed, wrath, lust, blah, 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 blah. So I had decorated the inside of my closet as a confessional with stained glass lighting. And a lot of people were like competing at these parties for like prizes, like the prize for winning Pride was like a magnified mirror, and the prize for winning greed was like fake money, the blah, 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 blah. The girl who won for sloth at that party actually showed up, changed into her pajamas, and fell asleep at the party. So the person that won for gluttony pigged out and then passed out. So things were going pretty well at the party, and you know, like a lot of my friends were sort of like me. You know, by day they were responsible people, and by night they were, you know, slavering freaks. You know, they were, you know, one guy, you know, was really, you know, hardcore, honest, you know, blue collar guy, and I got him into confession, and there I was dressed as a leather priest, and you know, he was drunk, really, really drunk, and he gave me an actual confession. He was like, yeah, you know, at the shop, you know, one of my buddies, you know, he doesn't work there anymore. He's dying of cancer and he can't get it up anymore, so I've been this old lady. I'm like, whoa! I'm not ready for this. It was a little heavy, you know, he's just dealing out his secrets, and I don't know, I'd like to talk about his secrets as well as mine tonight. You know, there's been a lot of sort of rough spots that I think we've all been through. Maybe you more than me, but I think what divides us is our silences. I mean, there's somebody that I think about a few minutes every day, no matter what I'm doing, and how they're the one that got away. And on my really quiet nights, I name the children that we never had. I name them Bridget, and I name them Daniel, and I name them Morgan. And I try and fill in those empty spaces. Sometimes I fill in the silences with stories, sometimes I tell jokes to set all my friends at ease, sometimes I just make up random shit to tell my coworkers because I see them sort of sinking. There were some other confessions at that party that night. 2 that sort of really flipped my wig. One was a woman who had just been recently married, and she saw a lot of the polyamorous stuff and the sort of transgender stuff going on at the party, and a lot of like playing with sexual roles. And when I got her into confession, she admitted that she was really, really envious of the open sexual relationships that some of the people had there. And there was also an old girlfriend that was there that's with a married couple now. They all live together very happily. And she was envious of the sort of white picket fence that the recently married woman had and the life that she had. And it was just such a bizarre experience. I was standing there in confession wishing that I had somebody to tell this to. So I guess in the absence of holding their sanctity, of their confession in my stained glass lit walk-in closet. I betrayed their trust. Forgive me.